Boy, I wonder how Mineral's gonna react to this. Apparently, he's doing a reaction video on me. It was coming, wasn't it? Off the back of that Mason Mount video, not that long ago. I don't even think I said anything out of line, if I'm being absolutely honest. But look at this, Liverpool interest in Mason Mount. I mean, this is going to be quite interesting.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you guys all here, and we're getting closer and closer to the World Cup, and obviously we'll be doing a whole heap of World Cup content very, very soon. But of course, we just gotta get there first up. Until then, we'll continue with all the Chelsea news, and we're going to continue with Chelsea news even throughout the World Cup as well. So don't worry about that at all. Let's talk about only a few bits and pieces of news today, which is going to be quite interesting to talk about. Some of the news that's been dropping by. First of all, Simon Phillips, Liverpool interest in Mason Mount confirmed, as I first reported on my site earlier this week. So he knew something like this was coming up. Yesterday's breakthrough a little premature. Still expect him to extend with us though. Okay, so Simon Phillips is talking about the Simon Johnson article from The Athletic, which talks about how in January there's going to be a negotiation again with Mason Mount in regards to Chelsea contract extension. He's already rejected a 7-year contract extension, which makes absolute sense. Maybe from Mason Mount's point of view as well, that's too long. He may look to possibly one day, I don't know, could think about other clubs. He may not. He may retire over here. But the 7-year contract, it kind of restricts him. If he's performing well and he's developed into a monster over the next couple of seasons, if it's a shorter contract, he could demand for more money. But if it's a longer contract, he's locked in a particular wage, then it's difficult. And also, at the same time, when you're locked in a long contract, leaving the football club ain't easy. All power rests with the club themselves. Shorter contract, the power rests with you. It's as simple as that. But this, ladies and gentlemen, let's just have a quick look at some of these images. Sources in N'Golo Kante, also some stuff from Mount and other January snippets. Obviously, Simon Phillips showing, he knew about this Liverpool interest. A little extra snippet to add to yesterday's Mason Mount news, and that is one source tells me that Liverpool would be one of the many clubs keen on signing the midfielder and are watching the situation. Interestingly, on this, as we know, Liverpool are goes on. And today the news was broken by Jacob Steinberg. So you got to take it seriously. Jacob Steinberg, as much as I don't like the guy, but when it comes to, like transfer rumors and transfer news and whatnot, these guys are quite on top of it. Guardian Sport as well. It's not a stupid publication by no means. Liverpool and Juventus, I highly doubt Mason Mount would go to Juventus ever. I mean, I don't know, maybe down the track if Juventus once again gets to the top of the European levels, perhaps. But right now, I don't expect Mason Mount to ever go to Juventus. Maybe down the track, if Mason ever was to leave, the Premier League, I don't know, maybe in Spain, maybe, and you know what, maybe even in Italy, but just not Juventus, maybe someone like Inter Milan, AC Milan, I don't know, down the track. But look, I can't picture Mason Mount leaving the Premier League. In fact, I don't even picture Mason Mount leaving Chelsea Football Club. So, look, it further goes on to say uncertainty around Mason Mount's future after Chelsea's talks with England midfielder over a new deal were put on hold until and after the World Cup. Now, in regards to this story itself, Liverpool, interest from Liverpool, I completely get it though. Like, that, you guys would have seen what I said a few days ago in my Mason Mount video. If you haven't seen it, please check out that live stream. Literally a couple of days ago when I did that live stream about Mason Mount when his contract extension conversation started. I said that the closest player for me, if I think about it, that you can compare with Mason Mount. I know a lot of people talk about XYZ player, KDB this, KDB that, and a few other players they throw in. And I'm like, dude, no, don't compare Mason Mount. Some people compare Mason Mount with Phil Foden as well. I don't think that's adequate. For me, James Milner, like people think that's a disrespect. Have a look at James Milner's career in the Premier League. It's quite outrageous. It's a stellar career. So I can understand why Liverpool's gone for Mason Mount, because Mason Mount's skill set fits Liverpool's model. Liverpool have a front three that get the bulk of the goals, assists, and whatnot. Their front three are the goal monsters, assist monsters, along with obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold. The midfield is the engine. The midfield does the dirty work. The midfield does the running. The midfield does the hustling. The midfield does the pressing. Of course, the front three does the pressing as well, but the midfield under Klopp's style, under Klopp's way of football, is literally the engine room. They are just buzzing and they are busy. They're covering in defense. They're helping out in attack, but they're not necessarily there for the goals and assists. Yes, they will chip in with the goals and assists wherever they can. Of course, they will, but that's not their main priority. That's not their main duty. Their main duty is, as I said, pretty much covering defense off the ball. In attack, if you can link up and just win the second balls and then lay it off to the front three. When the front three press, the midfield's got to make sure they cut out the passing lanes. Mason Mount would fit. I kid you not. And we've said it. Matisse has said it. I'm pretty sure Eunice has said it pretty much. I'm pretty sure earlier on, we've, as a combined sort of, bodies, we've said it, that Mason Mount would fit Liverpool to the T. So, look, I can understand why Liverpool's sort of interested in Mason Mount, but my verdict on this particular matter, I don't picture Mason Mount leaving Chelsea Football Club. I think there will be a contract extension, and it will have to be a compromise. Chelsea Football Club wants to give him a 7-year contract. Mason Mount probably wants a 5. He's potentially going to double his wages, somewhere near to what Reece James probably earns. Reece James earns about 250k. Mason is probably going to look to something as close as possible. He has been, the past couple of seasons, the player of the season. He is the most regular player in our team. But as I said, for me, I need more from Mason Mount. But at the same time, maybe we need to understand who Mason Mount is. In recent times, he said his favorite position is number 8. And he kind of describes his role. As I said, role is more important than the position itself, number 8. What does that mean? What does the number 8 do? Right? So Mason Mount has said, he likes to be more box to box, can play a bit deeper, arrive in the box late, score goals, assist. Which is fine. I'd rather him do that. But in our system, sometimes we don't have an 8. We have inside forwards if you play with the back 3. Sometimes we play with a midfield 3 and you can have an 8. But we'll see. We'll see how Graham Potter sort of progresses with the team down the track and what sort of formation, what sort of roles he gives. I still think at times Mason Mount does have a role as a number 8 for us, with the ball. Obviously, try and link up with the attack and arrive late into the box. He needs to do that a lot more often. And off the ball, help out in defense and try and be box to box. Of course, I don't see how that is any different. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Would you ever entertain a thought of perhaps selling Mason Mount to Liverpool? Me personally, I don't think so. I think that actually strengthens Liverpool because that's the player, that's the exact mold of player they're probably looking for. But you let me know how you feel about that. If you did sell, how much would you sell him for? What's Mason Mount's price tag in this particular market? Next up, ladies and gentlemen, according to AS, Memphis Depay is likely to leave Barcelona in January and is now open to a move to Chelsea due to their Champions League status. Look, I don't know how I feel about this, man. Premier League panel has been on the back of this. He likes Memphis Depay. Look, I wanted Memphis Depay in the summer. I did. The last summer window that went by, I wanted Memphis Depay. Because for me, the reasoning was that he probably came as close to Gabriel Jesus' skill set. We could have probably used him similarly the way Arsenal's been using Gabriel Jesus. And I thought, Thomas Tuchel would have benefited from that. But obviously, Thomas Tuchel's gone. We've since then gone Aubameyang. We also have Amanda Broya. We're linked with Christopher Nkunku. God knows what's happening with Christopher Nkunku. I hope the injury. I'm waiting for some more news to come out in regards to that. But he could potentially be out for 6 to 8 weeks. Some are even saying ACL injury. I don't know. We have to wait for proper report to come out. But Nkunku, obviously, we're very advanced with him. Rafael Leao, Leandro Trossard. Memphis Depay would probably be a very nice number 9, wouldn't he? Someone who could play false 9. I don't think any one of our current players can really play that to the T. Havertz has tried. He's not. That's not his position. Aubameyang is a out-and-out number 9. Probably we need more. And Aubameyang really isn't a long-term sort of player for us. Memphis Depay, I don't know, man. I mean, we need some sort of firepower in January, and this could potentially happen. It could potentially happen for a cheap amount of money as well. He was looking to come to us on a free if they were able to, because I think the word last summer was Barcelona would only, well, Memphis Depay would only agree on a cancelled contract with Barcelona if he found a club, and he didn't find a club, stayed at Barcelona. But I think January he could be open as well. Look, I wouldn't be too disappointed if he did come, but I don't know whether I'd give him a long-term contract, if I'm being honest. The way Todd Bowley throws contract out, 7-year contracts, this, that, the other. I think Memphis Depay, if anything, max 3-year contract, man. I wouldn't even give him a 5-year contract, because I feel like there are some really, really great up-and-coming footballers in the attacking positions coming up. You know, the Napoli player, Kavica, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's one. There's also another Napoli player, what's his name? Raspadori. Like, these guys are very, very good. Whether they'll come to us, I don't think so. We're linked with Victor Osimhen up front as a number 9, Ivan Toney. I like the player, his attitude and his character. That's a different story. We've done a video on that. So look, and as I said, Rafael Leao, there's Omari Hutchinson within our ranks, Trossard. There's plenty other players. I don't really know whether Depay is the right player for us now. But you, once again, in the live chat, in the comments, please let me know what you think about Memphis Depay. Would you take him in January? Maybe a worthwhile player to take in January. But as I said, the terms of the contract, it's got to be right. Now, some little information about, internally what's going on. Some comments from Christian Pulisic in regards to Graham Potter. I find this very interesting. I'm like, where were these comments for Thomas Tuchel, my man? And are these early comments for Graham Potter? Would these comments change down the track? Who knows? I mean, Christian Pulisic, once again, not really favored by Graham Potter, much like, with Thomas Tuchel, but he's got some really good things to say about Graham Potter. This is what he's saying. He's been good. The way he's worked with the players and communicated has impressed me the most. I think, see this, the way he's worked with the players and communicated. I think this is probably where Christian Pulisic feels a bit let down by maybe Thomas Tuchel. I don't know. Thomas Tuchel comes across like someone who's a good communicator. I find it very difficult why he wouldn't communicate anything like that with Christian Pulisic. As you guys know, in recent times, Christian Pulisic wrote that book, and he had some smart comments to make about Thomas Tuchel. One specifically, he said that he was promised to play the second leg against Real Madrid the season when we won the Champions League, and come match day, he didn't play, and Kai Havertz started. And do you know what? Thomas Tuchel, actually, in his recent first ever podcast with Ayurvedic in India, has said there are certain times as a manager, you got to go with your gut. He literally woke up that morning thinking, this guy's the right guy for me. He didn't specifically talk about this situation, but he was giving an example that managers sometimes go through that. I might have promised you something, but on the day, I felt something different because I saw something different in training the day before, and things change. So for Christian Pulisic to hold that against Thomas Tuchel, you got to understand a manager's business, man. Come on, you got to understand that. But I think this is where Christian Pulisic feels maybe he got let down by Thomas Tuchel. And this is where he's praising Graham Potter because of the communication. We've had some difficult times in recent weeks, but I think he's working through it. We're excited. There's going to be good things going forward. Look, it's great to see Christian Pulisic being positive and still not getting that much game time, to be honest. And he's not done bad. I've actually been advocating him to start more well before, sometimes even Mason Mount, sometimes even, Raheem Sterling. But he hasn't been getting those starts. So let's see what type of a World Cup he has and how he comes back off it. It's going to be quite interesting because he gets to play England. I think he gets to play Wales as well. So it'll be very, very interesting. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, how can we finish without some Hakim Ziyech, Habibi, Prof? You know I'm going to do it. Hakim Ziyech versus, I believe, Georgia. Practice match before the World Cup. Check this goal out, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to... I'm just going to stay quiet. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. Hakim Ziyech with an absolute banger. Let's have a look again. He picks up the ball, intercepts, and he absolutely slam dunks it. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you have. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time. See ya.